Hey, y'all.
Hello.
Everyone.
Good morning.
morning.
We're always laughing because we're always dancing before the
Yep.
live cast. And Greg fell underneath a barber shop.
That's right.
He did.
Yes,
he did.
I went to get my hair cut, and she says, "You've got quite a bit." Oh yeah, take lots off. And you know how they do the?
Yeah.
Is it? How about that much? Oh, a bit more. So she
A
did
little
a
bit
bit
more. No,
more.
there's a mistake. No, you need to take more. No.
Looks sharp. Very good.
Yeah, that
Well-
does look sharp.
Well, that's good. I'm not quite sure. Like I there's so little. There's no parting or anything in it, and I'm not quite used to looking at that anymore. So I don't know.
You look beautiful.
Well, thank you. You're
You
very
look
kind.
beautiful, man. You look beautiful. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Saturday morning live cast. If you are here, we're excited that you're here live. If you're not here live and you're looking at us later on and you're watching the recorded version, it's just as good then as it was live.
That's right.
We hope. So great to see everybody here. I'm not going to run down and say hey to everybody. I'm just going to say hey, y'all. How y'all doing? Lots of talk this morning about weather. It's beautiful out everywhere, supposedly. Everybody's been telling us that it's beautiful wherever they are. So even Hillary Gadsby said that it's beautiful in Wales and that it's sunny and warm, but there's snow on the mountaintops across the way. And I said, oh, what a beautiful view. 12 degrees from this week's member of the week. So we'll go through some of that stuff here in a bit, but thank you.
Ooh.
That's fun, Hillary. I'm going to jump right in here into the question of the week. You can see I'm who my closest is there. Let's go over here. See, we figured out. Greg told me how to figure something out. Yeah, very excited about this. Question of the week. Are there any adoptions in your tree? And you can see there's 6 pages of answers. So, I was thinking this morning early, amazingly, I wake up early on Saturdays and I lie in bed and I read through the questions or the answers that I haven't read through already so that I get myself ready for the live cast. So this morning I'm reading through and I'm thinking we should do an anthology of the questions of the week and do a book.
That's a great idea.
Here comes Betsy Coe's got her brain whirling away.
Yep.
We should do an anthology because everything that's posted on WikiTree is publicly available.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, of course, we would say, hey, do you mind if we post this? But
right.
That would be fun. We should do an anthology. Anyway, just, stupid things you think about when you're lying in bed in the morning doing question of the week reading. So 6 pages. There's a ton of answers, 114. And one thing that I don't normally do is I don't normally look or read out loud on Saturday morning the comments, because we want you to answer those questions, answer those comments, because if you have a great comment, I can't upvote it as the answer of the best answer. So I want you to answer them, or we want you to. There were a couple of comments that really led me to how I'm going to answer the answers for the question of the week. From Karen Buttram, from what I can remember, there have been at least 2 adoptions in my family tree. One on my mom's side of the family, one on my dad's side. Both sides are adopted children. And then Barbara Regenstein, which goes along with this week's profiles of the week. I'm adopted, and I'm sure there are adoptees I'm not aware of. I was adopted at 3 days old. I know my birth family, and I've built a tree for them as well as my adopted family. I've done DNA and would like to add my birth parents and connect the DNA results to my profile. But I don't know if it's possible to do on WikiTree. Okay, there we go. There we go. So Ken Luttrell did an answer, and he talks about the confirmed by DNA tab. And he also, somebody else, or he makes a comment that DNA, WikiTree is very DNA centric, and that we want to connect those biological links. But our very first commenter or second commenter says she did something that I want to show you guys. So here is my answer to the question of the week, which is actually a comment. So I can't even upvote my own answer. So there you go. But on WikiTree, you can be you. meaning you can have a profile for your adopted self and your birth self.
Right.
That way you can show your DNA connections via your biological family line. And I say as well, but just family line. So I'm going to show you our WikiTree elf, Aowen Langhoff. All right. So here we've got Aowen's adopted profile, which when you're an adoptee, that's probably going to be the one you start with because you're going to start with a family that you know, right, Greg?
Actually, I did the opposite.
No.
But a lot of people do. Most people, I'm finding out that I was the exception.
Yeah. A lot of people start with a family you know because a lot of people don't know when they join WikiTree who their family is.
Yeah.
We're just going to ignore Greg. So Aowen Langhoff, our cute little itty bitty forest elf, because she just gets everything done and runs around in our servers. She has a profile, a really nice profile, and her connections showing how she's connected to people through her adoptive family. Her mom is so cute. Anyway, so she's got information down here about her. She's got this box down here that shows her adoptive parents, biological parents. And she also has information about, well, that she's the WikiTree elf, but she also has information about where she was born, New Mexico, and she has her information again about who her biological and adopted parents are. And then she has down underneath, note, I have had my DNA tested, but it is not linked to this profile because it doesn't link to my adoptive parents. It links to my biological parents. And then she says, you can see my biological profile here. So real quick, we can look down and we can see she's got great information on her adoptive profile. We pop over to her Aowen Ramos profile, and we see that it's calculating her stuff based on her now birth line, which is fun. And her, I didn't even look to see what her CC score is, 782. So she's got her information, and over on the right of her birth profile, her biologic profile, it shows that she's got a mitochondrial DNA test, shows all of the great information. Need to get her uploaded to MitoIDNA, Aowen. And we've also got her autosomal test where you can do comparisons and stuff over at GEDmatch. That's great. She also has that title box again that gives the information about her adoption. And you can put that information up there and have it out there. And then she's got a good biography about what she knows about what was going on. So that's pretty cool. She even shows how she got adopted and what kind of service she went through. And then she's got sources. So that's what you can do. But I wanted to go beyond that. And since I can't edit Aowen's profile and show you this, I want to show you something else. So when you go in to a profile and you want to identify the family or the familial connection between you and your parents, you know, we always talk about that whole confirmed with DNA thing. We all know about that. And there's a whole confirmation thing over here. And then you need to supply a confirmation statement. This is where you do that. But more importantly, up above, you can indicate that a father is non-biological. So on your adoptive profile, you can actually indicate that this person is not a biological parent of you or the person you're working with. Same thing with the parent, mother down here. And if you aren't sure if you're adopted or not, and you're in that queasy kind of half life kind of area that adoptees go through, you don't know, you can say uncertain. You know, so there are two ways that you can identify the parents of a person you're working with to show that information. Want to move on ahead a little bit further here and point out that we do have an Adoption Angels project. And the Adoption Angels project has great information and resources for adoptees. And of course, Aowen is the leader of that project along with Emma. But there are people that actually help other adoptees with their work. But look, there's resources for adoptees. You can go down here and you can go through the process, how to get started, how to set up stuff, DNA basics for adoptees, DNA and adoption, look, there's great information in the DNA Adoptions Project. And to find that project, you go to Find, scroll down here to Projects, then scroll down to the Functional Projects, and you find the Adoption Angels. And then click into the Adoption Angels Project, and here you are again. So you can check that out. You can check out the information. You can check out the resources for adoptees and the information they have, but also take some time and read the novellas that we have over at our question of the week answers. Woo! And go through and upvote some of these great answers that we've had. And listen, there's a lot of great answers, lots of very personal great answers on here, as Greg can attest to. There's a lot of feelings that go on. Can you imagine? I can't imagine. I have an adoptee in my family who was one of the hardest clients I've ever had, was working with my cousin who was adopted. Got her straightened out. Still can't say who her mother was because we can't find the granddaughter of her mother. So we can't find the cousin. So we can't say publicly who she is, because we have to be respectful of not, doing things. And that's another great thing about WikiTree, is that you can have who you are out there. Be yourself. You can be you. And that's it. That's the question of the week. Yeah. So
it's a powerful one.
It is a powerful one. It is, and it's a very private one, but also a very public one. So there is my answer. That's a comment. So if you find an answer in there that you think's the best, I couldn't pick one that was the best. I could not. So read through them and enjoy yourself. I'm going to hand it over to Greg now.
Okay, great. Well, thanks for that, Megs. So I will just switch screens. And you were talking about things about adoption. And one of the things that, one of the apps that I created is the 6 Degrees app. It's not connected to the Tree apps yet. I haven't ported it over to there. But one of the things that I've done in this app that I'm hoping to do in other apps is the ability to, in the settings area, to limit the show to either show both sides of the family, only your adoptive family or your biological family. And so you can, so if I go into tree mode on this one, you can see, I'll just put first names up there. And see, I've got the setting down showing both adoptive and bio. So you can see both my biological parents, Dwight and Pauline, and my adoptive family. So yeah, I can build that tree up and go and see both of them. So I can see all my cousins and all my aunts and uncles of both flavors and stuff. So I just thought I'd show that to tie in with the question of the week and what Megs was talking about. But getting back to the profiles of the week, the profiles of the week this week are all about German notables. And it's following the excellent work that was done. And there was actually a video highlights just yesterday posted because of the WikiTree challenge for the American Historical Society of Germans from Russia. So I just love that combination. American Society for Germans from Russia. Like we just need a few more countries added into that, who have French sounding names, but grandmothers in Britain, I don't know. But anyways, so lots of nice profiles to go through there. I had to bone up on some of my German pronunciation, and hopefully I'll do a better job. I got an email this week. Patty Waldron was helping with some Irish stuff I've been doing, and he commented that I need some Irish pronunciation lessons because I
Patty's great.
Yeah. Yeah. So if Patty's in here, I'm gonna have to take you up on those pronunciation lessons, or maybe John can help me. But anyways, the first one, let's have a look at the maps. Though, wait a second, I gotta get my cursor on the right screen. There we go. There's the map of the profiles. So you can see they're all centered in Germany at one point, either coming to or going from. But here's the people who are from Russia, all the Russian points as well. Now there's one person way over here, like in Mongolia.
Wow.
Like I'm not sure. I'm going to click on that, and that is Johann Leonhard Stumpf. Died.
He was born there.
Or migrated there.
Well, the blue is the the blue is the death point, isn't it? Isn't it? So
Might have been a missionary.
Warenberg, Samara, Russian Empire. I'm not sure where Warenberg is, but I guess it's over here.
Or he could have been in a gulag.
Oh, maybe.
That's not a happy thought.
That's not happy. No, not at all. But anyways, there's certainly the concentration in Germany there. And if let's zoom in just a little bit more so you can actually read some of these German places. Actually, there we go. Leipzig, Dresden.
I see a name there. What is that? Stuttgart?
Stuttgart.
Stuttgart. Betsy?
Stuttgart.
Yes.
Do we have a Stuttgart in the house? Ah, look at that.
Brought out just for today.
The mug for the day. Yeah. Okay, so and actually, here's actually the search that I did to pull up that map. I think I showed this to you before, but basically, if you go into WikiTree Plus, not in the suggestions section, which is the part that always opens up first, close that down, go into the search section, and then in the text, then what I do is I WikiTree ID equals, and then the ID, and then after the first one, then you put the word or, and then the WikiTree ID equals, and then someone else's, and you just sort of build that up. Or WikiTree ID equals or, and so on. And so that gives you the list of all these profiles, and then there's the link. You can take that link.
Is there a limit on how many profiles you can put into a query?
Well, that was the issue. That was the issue that was crashing the server when I was trying this earlier this year. And I asked Alesh, why isn't this working? And he said, I don't know, it should work. I said, is there a number? He said, no, there's no limit. You know, you can do searches that have like hundreds of people in it.
Shh, don't say that.
Well, yeah, okay.
I mean, it's very
that's what he claimed, but you know, anyways, we fixed the issue. He fixed the issue. I just watched.
Greg, doesn't it take quite a while to enter in, like even like 15 IDs?
It does, but so here is what I do: is I actually go to
a Word document.
Yeah, I have a text file, which is right over here. Let me just drag that. There we go. There's my text file there. So I have a text file open. I go to each profile. I highlight the URL, and for me, Command L automatically does that. So then I just do Command L to highlight it, Command C to copy it, switch to my word processor, Word text document, and then I go back, go to the next one, Command L, Command C to copy, and then I go there.
You know, it seems like somebody would be able to figure out a quick program or routine or script or something to do this quickly.
It's not complicated. It's just tedious.
Yeah. So it's a little time consuming. I mean, I've sort of got my fingers know how to do it now. But you're right. There's probably a better way. I can probably write an Apple shortcut script that would do that.
An Apple shortcut script.
Yeah, I know. So, anyways, but somehow we're digressing. What a shocker!
No, we don't do that.
No, we don't. Okay. Let's go on to the first, the highlighted, the key profile of the week that was is Johannes Brahms.
One of my favorites.
My favorite piece of music is Brahms' Piano Concerto No. 1 in D minor.
Ah, very nice. Nice. He's done lots of stuff. Of course, the one that most people might be familiar with is the Brahms Lullaby.
Yeah.
Lullaby and good night.
Guten Abend, gute Nacht.
That's right. So that, but what's this is a very nicely done profile, and what I really appreciate is right at the bottom it actually gives you a sort of a summary of some of his greatest hits and a listening guide.
Greatest hits.
Well, you know, as greatest hits, you know, from the 1800s, you know, in classical music, romantic music. So
it was greatest hits then.
They were the greatest hits then, yeah. But Brahms, for musicians, he's one of the big three Bs, right? Yeah. Bach, Beethoven, Brahms are the three big Bs in classical music. Born the 7th of May, 1833, in Hamburg, Freie und Hansestadt, Deutscher Bund, son of Johann Jakob Brahms and Johanna Henrika Christiana Nessen. Of course, he's famous as a German composer, pianist, and conductor, and one of the most important German representatives of the mid-Romantic period. But by incorporating some Baroque and classical forms, he went beyond just Romanticism. So that's part of his appeal, is that he has aspects of all three of those. His first music lessons were from his father, who was the town musician. And then he started receiving piano lessons from Otto Friedrich Willibald Kossel and learned to play the cello. And then he was accepted as a student of piano musical therapy and composition by the well-known Hamburg composer Edward Markson in 1843. And then he was discovered and went on a concert tour. And then he was recommended to Robert and Clara Schumann, who are also big names in classical music. Mm-hmm. So they took him under their wing. Introduced to the professional world in the Neue Zeitschrift für Musik on the 28th of October, 1853. And then he worked as a conductor. He directed the Singakademie, which is kind of cool name for the academy there, 1863 to 64. And then he died in Vienna in 1897. And then it goes into more details here in the profile about his birth. And then here is the section on music samples. So things to listen to, and it's actual links to different places. So very cool, very well done profile. But sadly, I'm very distant. It's only 31 degrees. So, but at least I'm connected.
Betsy's 33. Yeah.
He's my farthest.
Yeah.
A couple of people in the chat are saying the same.
Mm-hmm.
29 for me, yeah. Mm-hmm. Pretty far.
Next one we have is Philipp Reichert, who was born on the 15th of April, 1844, in Katharinenstadt, Markstadt, Samara, Russian Empire.
Listen to you doing the right pronunciations.
Well, I'm trying. Yes, Patty shamed me this week, so I'm trying my best to pronounce things correctly. Because as a teacher, it's very important to pronounce people's names properly, So I try. Son of Heinrich Matthias Reichert and Katharina Elisabetta Heppner. Philipp Reichert, alias Heppner, was possibly born in Katharinenstadt. He was known to live there as well as Shunchen. In 1857, he was listed in a census in Shunchen. His parents were not married when he was born, so that's why there's the two last names. One, his mother's last name, maiden name, or his father's name. So that's why there's a little bit of confusion there. And then he got married in February 1869 in Shunchen, Russia. They had several children, all born there. So what I really like about this profile, and why I moved it from the list to the second one, is because it has this little explainer section in the middle about Germans from Russia. So this is why there are Germans in Russia, because Catherine the Great of Russia was a fellow German. And she was interested in building an agricultural region along the Volga River and the Cameron River. Yeah. And she was confident that the German people could help her achieve success by introducing modern agricultural methods. So she promised colonists freedom from taxes, assistance moving, and exemption from military service. Like that's huge. It's like she was trying to do a startup in Silicon Valley, and and I'll put foosball in all the break rooms. Next, anyways, between 1763 and 1768, more than 25,000 Germans, mostly from the West Central region, established 104 colonies on the Russian plains. And these, there in farming communities, they lived in relative peace and prosperity for more than 100 years, having limited interaction with the local population. So that's where we get these pockets of Germans in Russia. Sadly, of course, that did come to an end with Alexander II. He revoked the military exemption after Russia was defeated in the Crimean War. And then some of the Volga Germans sought peace in the United States. So hence, there's the American connection. So that's why we have Germans in Russia moving to American. So this whole thing just explained the whole WikiTree challenge for me. So, so I thought that was really cool. Anyways, and then we have an extensive research notes section. And what's neat about all of these profiles, or many of these profiles that were from the WikiTree challenge, is they have very extensive research notes, which is good on any profile, of course. But the cool thing about these is there's often an excerpt from a descendant of the person. That sort of gives some of the, the information that they knew at the time, or the sort of the starting information that the WikiTree challengers then would have worked from, or sometimes they had questions that, they were hoping that the WikiTree challengers could answer and whatnot. So, and here it is. So this one, N. Pipkin provided this about Philip, that he was born on April 15th, illegitimately, been baptized in Katerinstadt in Russia, and then it goes on about the details that they know. So very cool. Then we have Friedrich Eichhorn. And Friedrich was born in 1885 in Konstantinovskaya, Stavropol Krai, Russian Empire.
Well done.
So Alfred Friedrich Franz married Annette Leontine Lukovich. We lost Max. And they had at least 2 children, Adolf and Agnes. And he died in 1906 in Bethanian, which is also the town of Konstantinovskaya. And apparently he was said to have died in a train accident, which is sad. So the research notes for this one, the descendant talks about his grandfather, Adolf. So that was the son of the profile person. So the son who was born in 1903, his father who just died in the train accident. So his grandfather was born in Eigenheim, in the North Caucasus, and then they emigrated to Canada. So yeah, and we do have some Russian, Ukrainian, and some Ukrainian settlements in the West. So I think this group moved to Saskatchewan. There's a couple profiles where there's a Saskatchewan, Canada connection. There was a note on the ship passenger list about husbands. Interestingly, this family, here it is. They moved to Happyland, the Happyland district of Saskatchewan, which is kind of a funny, a nice way. That's a positive spin on things. If you're going to move, why not call it Happyland?
How do you say that in Russian or
what? Happyland
or German?
I don't know. Joyaland? I'm not sure how you would.
Freude, right?
Oh, Freudeland, maybe.
Freudeland.
Or Freudenstadt. I'm not sure. If we have any Germans in the chat, can help us out with that. That's a great question. So, and then see, here's an example. He had 3 questions that he was hoping that someone could answer. So, birth date and place. We've got a place. I think that was the place where he was baptized. So it could be that where he was born as well, and a rough estimate for the year. So they sort of answered some of those questions. So there we go. There was somewhere in here there was some question about his this person dying in the train accident. Was it really an accident? And did some of the people, when they were traveling on the boat, if they use alternate names on the passenger lists? There was some intrigue there. So that's kind of interesting. Then we have Carl.
In German, it's Glücklichland.
Oh, Glücklichland. Okay. Cool. Glücklich. Yes, Glück. Yeah, there we go.
I'm looking up the Russian now.
Okay, I didn't practice Russian pronunciation, so we'll see how it goes. Anyways, Karl Graeber was born about 1856 in Cholo, Mazestvoye, Prozansko, Grodno, Russia. Son of Karl Graeber and Apollonia Kunt.
It's Shastivaya Strana.
Shastivaya Strana. Sounds good.
Okay. I'm gonna put it up in the chat.
You can see why they went with Happy Land.
Yeah, that's right. Much easier. Oh, for sure. So born about 1856, married Anna Grioglik in 1877 in Russia, and they're said to have 6 children, 3 of which have profiles on WikiTree here. And he came to Marianovka, Volhynia, with his family, and they bought their farm from the Dowers, and he died in Russia. So this is one who stayed in Russia, but his descendants presumably came here. But this one is, so they got a little bit farther back in his ancestry, and but we got there's the 3 children and their offspring. So it's a good job there with this profile. One of the things there, the profile itself is fairly short, but they actually have a free space page, which is quite extensive. So, which is quite nice. And do we have John? Do we have Tommy Book in the chat today? Because
I didn't see him, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
I haven't seen Tommy this morning, and John Tyner was here but popped out because his Wi-Fi is not good.
Oh, that's too bad. Okay, well, I was thinking about Tommy because the village that he was born in Cholo, was founded by a man named Book.
Oh,
from Germany. So the village was founded in 1806, and it was basically set up. People worked together.
Genealogical trivia. You wouldn't get that in any other show.
I know. There you go. Yeah. And it was set up. People worked together, and then the Tsar. Unfortunately, their land, where they lived in peace and worked fine, ended up being surrounded by the Tsar's hunting lodge. And the German men would go out and hunt at night in the Tsar's preserve, but Nicholas II didn't like that, and he wanted them all to move. So he basically bought them out and forced them to move elsewhere.
Oh, here comes John. John Tyner's here.
Oh, you're back, John.
Welcome back, John.
Okay. Next, we have Wilhelm Karl Grimm, one of the brothers Grimm, the younger brother, actually, son of Philip Wilhelm Grimm and Dorothea Zimmer. I think we covered the older brother on a previous live cast. I seem to recall that. But this is the younger one. But the two were inseparable. They lived together when they were. There was where was it? There somewhere. They spent their entire lives together. In the school days, they had one bed and one table in common. As students, they had 2 beds and 2 tables in the same room. And I think that when I first read that, I was confused. I said, you just contradicted yourself in 2 sentences. But I think what they mean is the school days were like elementary school, and students when they went off to university and were students. So I think they use that distinction of the terms.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah. But they always lived under one roof and had their books and property in common. And even when Wilhelm married and had children, they still apparently lived together. And someone suggested that they lived in such harmony and community that one might also imagine the children were common property. Which is kind of weird.
Some of the kids might have been both parent. The men may have parented some of the children. Like, yeah.
Do you think that's what it means?
I think that's what it means.
Yeah, that's how I read that.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I was just thinking that, Uncle.
It would be a hard DNA test to do.
Yes, it would.
If that were the case.
Wow.
Did you say that they were they twins or just brothers?
So Wilhelm was born in 1786. If I hover over Jakob, where's Jakob here, brother? He was, now I can't even, 1785.
Mm-hmm.
So they are different years, but close. Okay, well, that wasn't exactly the interpretation I had. That's a little creepier than I was thinking.
I think that it was very politely said.
Yes, it was very politely said. So, I was just thinking, it's nice. It's very friendly.
You're such a sweet guy, Greg.
So he had a career. He was a secretary. They were librarians. They were actually kicked out of the university. They were co-librarians for because of their political views. They had disagreed with a what was it? They were part of the Göttingen Seven and protested against the abrogation of the liberal Hanover Constitution by King Ernest Augustus. So it's not good to get your king upset at you. You
Nope.
lose things like positions of power and stuff, but eventually they were forgiven. And I guess the next king, William IV, invited them back to the University of Berlin. But apparently, so of course they collected fairy tales, which of course they're most famous for, the Grimm's fairy tales. And Wilhelm, the younger brother, this guy, was the one who was more animated and was popular. So even though in later life he was his body was failing him, he wasn't as strong. But when he focused his energy on things that he was passionate about and collecting these tales and telling them, were one of those things in music. And so he had a remarkable gift of storytelling and was described as animated and jovial, and as such was much sought in society, which he frequented more than his brother Jacob. Okay, so there we go.
Very well done profile.
Yeah, very well. I love the portraits along the side and
yeah,
the cemetery stuff. So the house. Yeah.
And of course, the picture of them together.
Yeah, of course. Friederike Hug was born in 1863 in Annental, Russian Empire, daughter of Johann Hug and Maria Magdalena Kugela. Friederike. Wait a second. I'm a little confused here. It says Friederike is a daughter of. Oh, and wife of. No, yeah, okay. I'm sorry.
It says she's a girl.
Yeah. No, wife of Johannes.
Married to
that's right.
Johannes.
Yeah. No, I'm fine.
Okay, good.
For some reason, I was thinking. I don't know why, but I saw wife. I was thinking wife colon.
You off.
What? No. Johannes Schlittenhardt. Okay, sorry. Friederike was born about 1706. Yeah. And she married Johannes Schlittenhardt in the Russian Empire in 1897. They had at least 5 children. And 4 of them are listed here, have profiles in WikiTree. All born in the Russian Empire. Said she died in 1905 aboard a ship. So that was one of the questions from the descendants is, the proof about the ship and where she, if she did indeed die on the ship and whatnot. But this person actually had a lot of bullet points that they already knew about her. So that would have been very helpful in the research. Married, had 4 or 5 children, was born about, so to had a good estimate of the range. So that would make it a little easier to find. The ship arrived in Halifax, another Canadian connection. And not being able to, haven't been able to find that she was confirmed that she died on the ship. So neat. And then proposed a theory, which is kind of neat to see, because then that gives you something to work from and a goal to work on. So very cool. Then we have Lucas Kress, who was born in 1893 in Tulovka, Saratov, Komishinsky, Russian Empire.
That's my closest.
Oh, really?
Yep, at 17.
Oh, wow, that is close.
And only 2 steps off in real life.
Cool. Son of Georg Peter Kress and Katerina Maria Reich. So he came to America, departing Glasgow via the SS Caledonia, and arrived in 1913. So he was born in 1993. So he was about 20 years old then, arriving in the States, listed as a single farm laborer from Bidec. And they have a small family prayer book with his name in it. And that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
They have that memento. And then there's an interesting talk here about it lists his middle name as John, but that doesn't show up in any of the other documents. And then it goes on to talk in this little note, talks about the naming practices. And in an American, they often added a middle name or a middle initial to distinguish people from one from another.
Thank goodness.
Yes, yeah. And they said that, like in Germany, double names like Johann Peter or Anna Maria were common. So like that was your name, Johann Peter. Yeah, you know,
Right.
You weren't just Johann, you were Johann Peter or whatever.
Right.
But in North America, that wasn't as common. So,
except in the South, right?
Except in the South, Billy Bob.
You know, that's a misnomer. Yeah, that happens. But usually Billy Bob would have had another name, and that would have been a maternal surname.
Oh, yeah, they use surnames a lot.
Yeah,
too, right?
surnames in there.
Yep.
Billy Bob was really his first name.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. And then, so the other thing is that the middle name sometimes they came from the father's name, or in some cases they have to reach the grandfather if the father and the son both had the same name, or a confirmation name was another option for them. So. Yeah, and anyways, this guy, Lewis, was a carpenter, cabinet maker, and passed away in 1967 in Union City, Hudson, New Jersey. And there's the obituary form, which is kind of nice. And again, a nice research notes and a note from the descendant. So very cool. Gabriel Lawrence.
Okay, this is both of yours closest.
Oh,
and there are a couple of people in the chat. They're closest as well.
Oh, neat. Okay, so 18...
I like the backdrop, the wallpaper.
Oh yeah, isn't that neat? That's very nice. Okay, so if he's my closest, let's see how he's connected. Connection to me. One. Oh, look at. There's just two dimensions. Yeah, I like the alternative view. So let's see. His uncle's fourth great grandfather's brother's wife's brother.
It's an AJ Jacobs connection.
Yeah, no, I love that. Anyways, let's go back to Gabriel.
You know, you have a distant path when you have to scroll over on your screen to see the alternate view.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. Well, mine was pretty close. It wasn't that.
Yeah, I'm 19. You guys are like closer
by a little bit. Yeah, I'm 17.
Born in Alsace, Kuchgargen district in Kherson, South Russia, son of Johannes Lorenz and Philomena Welter. And his text reflects that his parent. Okay. There we go. So there's a little the last name of his mother, Walter, is Welter. There's variations there, which is not uncommon. 1930. Apparently, there's spelling variations dogged him all his life, including the 1930 census. His name was inaccurately recorded as Gav Lorang, as opposed to Gabriel Lawrence. Yeah, okay. It's got some, a lot of the same consonants in there and vowels, So, is a farmer, and then let's see. I had not attended school. Anyways, takes you through. It's nice that they're going through each of the censuses, but they've pulled out and gleaned as much information. Like they've really milked these records for all they're worth. So I like doing that myself when I create a profile, and it's neat because it does, takes what could be a very dry, stat, right?
Yeah.
You were at this place and this point in time, blah, the end, and you can really flesh it out.
That's why. I'm thinking of like the 1900 U.S. Census, where it starts like asking women how many children had you have and how many lived, and really some surprises come out of those.
Yeah, that's neat. Yeah. And this one, there is, I guess, there's some question about the origin story and whatnot. So that was interesting. And so that's included there. And then a big thing about the migration and the routes that he took and stuff. So very, very cool. Sophia Magdalena Scholl was born in Fortenburg, Wolstadt, Württemberg, Deutsches Reich, I should say. And she was an anti-Nazi political activist, active within the White Rose nonviolent resistance group in Nazi Germany. So she was the fourth of 6 children. Her parents were Robert and Magdalena Müller Scholl. They moved to Ulm in 1932, where she was brought up with Lutheran beliefs and values. At age 12, she had joined the Bund Deutscher Medal, which is the League of German Girls, which was basically the girls' wing of the Nazi Party, the youth movement. Her father was a Nazi critic and was not content with her decision. And her older brother Hans, who had at one point also participated in the Hitler Youth program, was not a fan. And obviously their criticism rubbed off and led her to become disillusioned herself with the Nazi Party. She graduated from secondary school in 1940, but had bad marks because she lost interest in the classes, which had become just part of the Nazi indoctrination. And then she started working as a kindergarten teacher.
So when they start attacking the schools and burning those books, that's when you know something's wrong. We gotta make some change.
There's something wrong.
There's something wrong.
Yeah. So, but I mean, she joined when she was 12. Not a lot of people can make super critical decisions at that point, right? You know, you're just going to do what your friends are doing, right? But she saw
and there was a lot of pressure on those youths.
Oh yeah,
there was tons of pressure on those youths.
Yeah. So then in 1941, she started practicing passive resistance, and she started working in a nursery, which became the White Rose. Her resistance organization, Weiße Rose, the White Rose, and her older brother Hans was part of that, and together they worked on that. They put together pamphlets, 6 leaflets, down with messages like "Down with Hitler" and "Freedom" were put on walls in Munich. But you could, if you haven't already guessed it, yes, they were arrested, caught distributing 1,700 leaflets at the University of Munich, interrogated, and then arrested. And eventually, sadly, she and her brother and a friend were found guilty of treason and condemned to death and executed by guillotine.
By exercising their right to speak.
Yeah, that's right. Her last words have been captured here. How can we expect righteousness to prevail when there's hardly anyone willing to give himself up individually to a righteous cause? Such a fine sunny day, and I have to go. But what does my death matter if through us, thousands of people are awakened and stirred to action? So,
and unfortunately, those thousands of people who are awakened and stirred to action probably ended up in the camps as well.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Story. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's sad. But the good news, I mean, there were some things. There was a 1998 law, I wonder, where they basically reversed all of those decisions that were made by the Nazi judgments of criminal injustice, so that her officially was no longer a crime what she had done. And there are places that are named.
1998 took a long time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it would be hard for government to deal with that, I guess. I don't know. You just want to ignore it, I suppose.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, it'll go away. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah. Pretend it didn't happen. Yeah. But at least, good for them, finally doing the right thing. And there are lots of places named after Hans and Sophie Scholl. So
somebody says, I like the video. Is there a video connected with this?
No, as in this video.
Oh, like us.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
Kathy, messing with my brain this morning.
Yeah, that's right. Johann Leonhard Stumpf was born in 1729 in Kassel, Ober-Alten-Bernheim, Bavaria. We don't know his parents yet. Husband of Katharina Stumpf. And they arrived in Kronstadt Island in the Russian Empire. and his occupation was listed as shoemaker. He and his wife traveled aboard the Mann und Frau, the name of the ship, which is basically husband and wife. That's kind of a cool name for a ship.
Yeah.
I wonder if they only took married couples on this ship, you know?
Everything sounds more glamorous in a foreign language.
Mann und Frau. Yeah. Their son was born in Bernburg. And then there's, again, there's some research notes here. Quite a bit of research notes and details. So very cool. Now we don't know they didn't find his parents, but he has at least down one line, they've gotten fairly deep in terms of descendants. And then the last one, Otto Edward Leopold, Graf Otto von Bismarck-Schönhausen, der Eiserner Kanzler, Fürst von Bismarck, Herzog zu Lauenburg.
Chris said earlier he wanted a pointy hat. Chris Ferriello. I just want to put that out there.
Oh, there we go. So yes, you and Otto could share hat wear. Son of Karl Wilhelm Ferdinand Bismarck Schönhausen and Wilhelmina Luisa Menke. This is neat. It's a bilingual profile in German and English, and the German is primary. So the German parts come first, and then the English translations are second. I will read the English or refer to the English. On April 1st, he was the future Prussian minister, prime minister and president, and the first chancellor of the German Reich, Otto von Bismarck, was born in the estate or palace of Schönhausen. So there's the picture of the place he was born. Not a bad place.
Yeah.
And then he was sent to his mother sent him to a highly regarded boarding school. And interesting, during the time he formed unwillingness to follow authorities because he did not like the focus on discipline and dictates. Interesting, that he became a political leader. Didn't like the discipline and dictates. Interesting.
It's ironic.
Isn't that a bit ironic? He studied jurisprudence, so law, and he was stationed as an army reservist, of course. He proposed to the daughter of a diplomat with a rhetorical letter.
Yeah, I thought that was hilarious.
Yes. So I'm asking for your daughter's hand in marriage, but it's more a rhetorical question. We're going to.
But the wedding took place.
But the wedding took place. Yeah. So he was the prime minister of Prussia, and there's the year 62 to 73, and then to 90, and the founder and the first chancellor of the German Empire.
Of the Reich.
Here. Yeah, so the big German Empire. But once the empire was established, he actively and skillfully pursued pacific policies, so peaceful policies in foreign affairs, and succeeded in preserving the peace in Europe for about 2 decades. Then we kind of know that fell apart with the First World War. And but, impressive that his goals were peaceful initially there. So that was kind of cool. Died in 1898. And there we have it. And those are your profiles of the week.
Thank you, Greg.
Yes.
You're welcome.
Very interesting.
Yeah, it was an interesting group.
Yeah, wide ranging. I mean, from composers to politicians to activists. Yeah. Well, we've got more photos of couples this week. I was really excited to see. So this first one is the great-grandparents of Oz.
Of who?
Azure.
Oh,
Az.
Neat.
Sorry, Az.
Very cool.
That is very cool. Where was that, Az?
So these are her great-grandfather had moved from New York to Iowa, and he married the girl next door, Lovey. So.
Oh, that would have been a fun courtship.
Then this anonymous read posted this. This is photos of his grandparents. So when his father, and actually I shouldn't assume gender. I don't know if anonymous is male or female.
Zoom in a bit on that.
Sure, absolutely.
There you go.
Okay. When my father and two brothers enlisted for World War II, their parents sent each of them off with these two items. Photos of their parents.
It looks like a wallet photo.
Yeah, right. But I think it's just a folio just for the photos, and then a New Testament and Psalms with a metal cover that would help to shield their hearts.
Oh.
Now this Judy, sometimes in the chat, I don't know if she's there today, but here's the photo, and it is
3 couples.
3 couples, and these are all like intermarriages between like siblings. From 2 families.
Not intermarriages between siblings, but siblings married siblings.
The siblings from one family
sound right.
Married another family. Yes, correct. And she also mentions that the wedding dress in the middle was worn by her daughter.
Oh, how fun.
Oh, neat.
That's that makes DNA hard to figure out because
oh my goodness, all those double siblings. First cousins?
You have 3/4 siblings.
Okay, here it is. This is a 1912 photo of 2 Eastman brothers and their sister with their 2 Rowley and Kosher spouses. So
wow.
Good luck.
Still it makes it hard because their children would all be
doubly related. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yes. But a really beautiful photo.
That is a beautiful picture.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and they're writing underneath on the wood.
Isn't it? What does it say? Mitchell
Silent?
So the names are up here.
Is that the photographer?
Yeah, that doesn't match any of the names of the people being married. So I don't know.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Or is it a place name?
Maybe. Where was it? This was, I don't know. And thank you to Victor who helped get this posted when Judy was having some difficulties.
Mm-hmm.
So, and from Victor. Yes. His Wisley great-grandparents. He died in 1982, so this is sometime before then, probably within the 3 years before that. He had gone blind for unknown reasons. When her hair was down, it was quite long. You can see she's got this beautiful brown braid. Yeah. And at one point, I had a cassette recording of him singing a song, but it has gotten lost in my multiple moves. Oh, I hope you find it. That sort of thing is agonizing.
Yeah.
I was named after him for my first name, although I have changed the spelling of it. Oh, they just look so comfortable together. I love that.
That is neat.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question, Betsy?
Yeah.
If you go back, scroll up a little bit to the beginning of the writing.
Yes.
It's got his parent or his grandparents' names there.
Yeah.
And that's how you would normally put it in a profile. And so, so it would form a hyperlink, but it's not forming a link there.
It doesn't do that in G2G though.
Can you do it?
I've encountered that before. So what you have to do is you actually, there's in the text box when you're doing a G2G post, there's like a place to do a link, and you would
a little picture of chain link.
Yeah.
It doesn't hover over. You highlight the word, and then you go to the link button, and then you put the link in the button, and it makes the word a hyperlink.
So you have to put in the full URL for their profile.
Yeah, you can't use WikiTree.
There's no shortcuts. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I was wondering, because I've done that using the hyperlink thing, and I thought, well, there's got to be a shortcut, but no.
Right. It's just like if you were doing a link in an email.
And a lot of people don't realize that G to G is actually not a part of the WikiTree program. It's like a separate standalone program that's connected. So
that's probably why it doesn't work.
Yeah,
that's exactly. Yeah, that would explain. Okay.
And let's see who Douglas Cohn.
Oh, nice.
Yes, these are his grandparents, Wayne, Mitch, and Carolyn Mitchell. This
look
photo,
at the twinkle in his eye.
Yeah,
Mhm.
he looks
Look at
like,
that.
yeah,
Scroll down just a hair. There you go.
yeah,
That's cute.
from the early 1940s. He passed in 2002, she in 2005. They were amazing grandparents and missed by everyone in the family.
Aww.
Yeah. And Lisa posted this photo from her parents' wedding in 1956.
Nice.
Oh, I'm sorry, Lisa. She says her mother's now in palliative care. Very sad.
Aww. We're sorry, Lisa.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess her mother said her dress was blue.
All right.
I'm guessing that's her mother.
Mm-hmm.
Off shoulder.
Yeah. And
Nice.
a lovely hat.
Is that here in Ottawa, Lisa?
Well, we will find. Hopefully, we'll hear. Lisa was in the chat.
Yeah.
Here.
And then we'll just whiz over here and see if let's see. Okay. As is great
I like that picture the best so far. That one, yeah.
Maybe that's a candidate to go on the homepage.
Yeah.
There's Alexis's aunt and uncle. We saw that last week, but yeah.
Yeah.
Mink coat.
And M. Ross's great grandparents, I think.
She says that was in Windsor, Ontario.
Ah.
Oh.
Neat.
Okay.
Good stuff.
Let's see. Who is this again?
John Tyner and Victor, if you go to the post about the question of the week, in my comment answer, I did hyperlinks to Aowen's profiles in there and also to the live cast. So you can go to edit and look at what I did and you can see how I did it. Talked about the hyperlink, sorry. Digi.
Got it. And yep. Lisa's photo. Oh, here's a new one. Milton and Alice housewarming party. They look very happy.
71.
They're getting new cookware.
Yeah.
And I put this one up. These are my mom's parents.
Oh,
how
neat.
Cute. Yeah. I love the hem of her dress. It's like sort of
Crenelated?
Yeah, it's not like sharply defined. It's poofy.
I like your granddad's dinner jacket too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to see. I don't have an exact date on this. I'm guessing it's from the early 50s. It'd be interesting if someone was really knowledgeable about cars.
That car would give it away. That looks like my grandmother's Pontiac, but I don't think that's a Pontiac. But I would say 1956.
Ooh.
Because that looks a lot like my grandmother's car.
Okay. All right.
She still had when I was a kid.
Wow.
Satiny for the dress. That's what Victor Rose says.
Yeah, and my grandmother was very interested in fashion, and she made clothes for my mother and my aunt and herself, and she was they said, when she would say, well, when I was growing up, if you wanted a new frock, you had to make it yourself.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if she made this dress, but that was an interest of hers. And that's it for photos.
Hillary Gatsby says she's got some that she's going to add next week. So
excellent. Please. We've got a whole nother half of the month.
Yeah.
So, okay. Tip of the week.
Tip of the week.
Here it is.
We can have some sort of sound go with that.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, where's the sound? Where's the sound? I could find it. Here we go.
There we go. I like it. Thank you, Mags.
You're welcome.
So this is another one from 15 for 15, the challenge that I want everybody to get a sticker for. Down under community, there's last item is add a book to the source library.
Ooh.
What is the source library?
Ah.
So I went to looking.
Okay.
And here is the WikiTree source library.
Okay.
Super fast. Put that in the chat. And many of us already know about like the family search wikis. Like if we're researching on a particular place, that's a good place to go. And so this is similar. And so there's this big geographical list, not only, geographical and topical. So I've been researching a family in Massachusetts. So I thought, well, let me just use that as a test case. And why do I not see, where's Massachusetts?
It's missing.
Did you delete it? Did you accidentally delete it?
I don't think I have that kind of power, man.
Oh no!
But I was
go up to the change and see what happened to it.
Oh, wait a second. No, there it's under New England.
No. It's under New England.
There we go.
New England.
You're really scaring me.
I know. Well, it was missing between, Kentucky and Minnesota.
There we go. I'm now on Massachusetts. The place I'm specifically looking at is Mendon in Worcester County. So I dig down and trying not to get that. And when I found it.
Wow.
Yep. And so there are several resources for Mendon. And since I have a small brick wall with a person who only shows up in a marriage record, and he definitely died because the wife remarried. And so I would really like to find some mention of his death. So a couple of these look promising. I'm going to check.
Small brick wall? I don't think I've ever heard anybody delineate what the size of a brick wall is. Small brick wall.
Right. Well,
is that like a curb stop or?
Yeah, that's right.
I just feel optimistic that I can kick this one down.
Okay.
You can kick it down.
Kick it down. You go for it, Betsy Cole.
Go for it.
Check with me next week. And I'll let you know.
That's right.
Anyway.
Oh, somebody said the best class in martial arts is when you're going out the door in the morning and you run into a spider web.
Yeah, right.
That's right.
Go ahead, Greg.
Well, I was going to say, so if you click on the link for the vital records of Mendon, does it open up to that book?
So it takes me to a free space page
okay.
for the book. Now, so doing this as one of your 15 is not for the faint of heart. I mean, there's quite a bit involved to add a book to the WikiTree source library, because what you need to do is create a free space page for the source. So, and there is, I'm just going to go back for a second to this page. You'll see next to the link to the source library, there's another link that says, here's how. And that takes you to a really excellent free space page that walks you through the whole process of how, when you find a new book that you want to share with the community, what you need to do, what you need to include, et cetera, et cetera. So back to this Mendon book. It starts with all the, the pertinent information that you would need for a citation. And then it shows you not just one, but all the places you can find it online. Both looks like these are all free, but you can certainly be comprehensive and include sites that are behind a paywall. But of course, we want to
identify them as such, yes.
Yeah, we want to make people aware of the free locations. Looks like this one's still in progress. Errata, no errata yet. And then, okay, I'm a little stumped on this. This is for a citation, and I confess I don't know enough about WikiTree markup. I played with this on my own profile page, just like a fake citation, and it didn't work. And I think it's because of my ignorance about these span tags.
Well, if you were to take that and copy it verbatim,
Yes.
and then take the VR Minden
Yeah.
and the single quote marks,
Right.
if you were to take your information and stick it in there, then you would have it. But you would have to be able to remember that to be able to do that, you've got to use the lower thing when you're actually mentioning it in another place in your verbiage.
Right. Oh, maybe this is like for a repeated source sort of
Yes.
thing. Yes. So that's why it didn't work.
Yes.
Is I would have to the first time I would have to omit that.
Yes.
Got it. Okay. All right. Thank you, Max. And then a place where it all links. And this is also really interesting, really helpful because I'm researching the Southwicks. So when I saw these, I thought, I'll head over and check these profiles out.
Ooh.
And see if there's anything helpful for
me. Did you?
I did. Well, didn't know. I am trying to help a family friend connect to Lawrence and Cassandra Southwick, who are already on WikiTree. They were Quakers who were victims of Puritan intolerance. It's a very, very tragic story. And I'm trying to connect. So I'm building their family back. I'm pretty confident I can.
Good.
Yeah. So, but I haven't done it yet. There are a lot of Southwicks. So, yes. So. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And that's the tip of the week.
Yay. Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Did you want to add something else, Greg?
No, I was just saying good stuff. No, that's it. I don't have anything else to add.
You see where I was following along.
Yeah.
And do I have stuff up? I did. Oh, no, I had stuff up. There we go. Go to the G2G post. What is happening around WikiTree in April 2023? Now, somebody, I believe it was John, just noted that there is not going to be a live cast on next Saturday. Neither are there going to be Friday date nights. There you go. Because it's the WikiTree.
Woo!
Connecting.
Here we go. The Connect-a-thon.
Yep.
We're going to connect some people around here. We're going to connect up some people in here. I'm upping some people, whatever. So, but there will still be this week. So tomorrow, the new member Q&A with Betsy Co. WikiTree tours all about connections coming noon on the 17th. The Nation's Global Tour wrap up. And then Friday morning, 8 a.m., we will be starting with a live cast. I'll be there. Will you? I will be there. Are you going to be there, Greg? 8 a.m. Friday.
I'm going to be there.
I'm not going to be there.
You're not going to be there, Betsy?
Oh, sorry.
Not bringing Timmy's? Nation's Global Tour wrap up. And the German, but that's the next, German Stammtisch is next week. So BioBuilders is going on. Connect Canada Noble. Say that 5 times really fast. Black Heritage notables for the U.S. G2G integrators, Jedi. Puritan Great Migration, Sorcerers, the Black Heritage Connecting. Ongoing events are at the April Connect-a-thon registration. That closed out Wednesday, or is it closed out this Wednesday?
Usually this Wednesday.
Let's see what it says. It says it's still open. Runs until
Monday.
No, that's the
Connect-a-thon.
That's the event.
19th.
Closed on Wednesday the 19th. So you got to get your registration in. And let's see how many people. 593 so far.
Wow.
Woo-hoo! Yeah, there we go. That's the good time for the applause. And let's see. So that's what's happening. If we go over to the social media page for that Az runs all the time. Let's see. And thank you, Aon, for putting that post up. So we're going to go to the week of April 16th. So the question of the week, I don't know if that's up yet. Is it? One name study Tuesday, one place study Wednesday. Tune in to the live cast kicking off the Connect-a-thon. Now that it says Thursday, but it's got Friday at 8 a.m.
Right. I think Az puts things like in here so that on Thursday, if you're going to
you-
promote
yeah.
things,
Oh,
that's the day to promote it.
Yes.
So
I
people
could have
are
had a
ready
V8.
for Friday.
There you go. So there we go. And we'll, instead of having a Saturday live cast, you're going to be hearing all sorts of other fun stuff every 4 hours all the way through from Friday to Monday morning. So we look forward to seeing you there. Let's check the countdowns. Yeah, just a few more days to protect, to get prepared for that.
Mm-hmm.
I want to hear y'all pronounce the Ireland's team name.
No.
Greg, there's your challenge.
I need to practice that.
So we won't see you next week.
Lessons.
We will see you next week, but we won't. But we will. But we won't be here like this. You know.
Yeah.
We'll see you during the Connect-a-thon. You guys have a wonderful week.
Wait. Hey, Max.
No.
Max.
What?
Az wanted us to share, remember, the few things. Can I just show?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, videos about WikiTree. There are new playlists.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So here is I'm going to quickly put this in the chat for everybody. These are on YouTube. And, really like, for instance, if you want to find out about projects, here's the easy to find whole playlist. Sandy Paddock's Bingo, Friday Night Bingo, where there's great information about projects, or my new member Zooms, Ask Alesh with Greg, tree tours. So it's all there. And there was one
that is on the social media page as well, right?
Is it?
To share? What page is that on? That is on the social media page.
Okay.
Videos about. There you go. Thank you.
Yes. And
cool.
there was one more thing, wasn't it? Wasn't there? About musicians on Friday. No one's remembering.
I've got my Discord closed, so I don't get this.
We're planning on doing some YouTube shorts videos, also on TikTok, showcasing a musician on Friday afternoons, evenings.
I'm so sorry I missed that.
Can it be mentioned? So details to come, but just get excited, music lovers. And who is not?
We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Yes.
Yeah.